Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me at Destiny Guided Tarot. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It cannot resonate with everyone, of course, because it is general, so just take what does fit. Throw the rest away. If you like, you can watch other placements. Sometimes those work better. If you're not sure what they are, you can find out for free at Cafe Astrology, and I've linked that below in the description box for you. All right, so let's get started. All right. Messages, please, for Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the first week of January. That's a start, isn't it? Devil. Pardon me. Knight of Swords. Nine of Wands. Okay. Oh, that's a nice card. 10 of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Okay. So let's take a look. So, beginning with the Devil. Revealing a situation marked by attachment, temptation, or feeling stuck. This can point to unhealthy patterns, limiting beliefs, or dynamics where control and fear play a role. You may feel bound to something even while knowing it isn't good for you, such as staying in a draining situation out of habit, or chasing approval, or feeling pressured by expectations that don't truly align with who you are. Next comes the Knight of Swords, bringing urgency and confrontation. This energy is fast, direct, and sometimes impulsive. It suggests a moment where you rush to break free, speak your truth, or challenge what's been holding you back. For example, you might have a blunt conversation, make a sudden decision, or mentally decide enough is enough, even if the delivery is sharp. Then we have the Nine of Wands. This shows the aftermath, exhaustion mixed with resilience. You've been through battles, and you're tired, but you're not defeated. This card reflects standing your ground despite weariness. In real life, this could look like setting boundaries repeatedly, pushing through resistance, or feeling wary but determined not to give up. Then the energy softens with the 10 of Cups. A vision of emotional fulfillment and harmony. After struggle, there's the possibility of peace, happiness, and genuine connection. Excuse me. This card suggests emotional alignment, feeling supported, accepted, and content. For instance, you might find emotional safety in a relationship, experience relief after resolving conflict, or finally feel at home with yourself and others. And then the week concludes with the Ace of Wands, signaling a fresh spark and renewed passion. This is the fire that reignites you after everything you've endured. It points to a new beginning, fueled by inspiration rather than fear. You may feel motivated to start something new, approach life with enthusiasm again, or channel your energy into a creative or personal pursuit that excites you. So overall, the week tells a story of breaking free from restrictive patterns through bold action and perseverance, leading to emotional fulfillment and then a renewed sense of purpose. So overall, the message is saying that while liberation may require confrontation and endurance, it ultimately clears the way for joy, inspiration, and a powerful new beginning. Let's take a look at week 2. Again, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, second week of January. Queen of Cups, Four of Cups, Justice, Page of Swords, and a King of Cups. So let's figure out what this is trying to tell us. All right, so the second week opens with the Queen of Cups, placing emotional awareness at the heart of the situation. This card suggests deep sensitivity, empathy, and intuitive understanding. You may feel things very strongly, picking up on emotional undercurrents um, that others miss. Sorry. You may be, yeah, you may be picking up on emotional undercurrents that others do miss. Okay. For example, you might be the one that people turn to for support, or you may sense that something is off even when no one says it out loud. So next comes the Four of Cups, showing emotional withdrawal or dissatisfaction. Despite your emotional depth, there's a sense of disengagement here, perhaps feeling unappreciated, bored, or unsure whether what's being offered is truly what you want. This can look like turning inward, hesitating to respond, or feeling emotionally numb after giving too much. You might be ignoring an opportunity or a conversation because it doesn't meet your emotional expectations. And then the Justice card arrives as a turning point, bringing clarity, honesty, and accountability. This suggests a need to look at the situation objectively and fairly, without letting emotions cloud judgment. It may involve recognizing your own role in what's happening, or making a decision that aligns with your values rather than your moods. For instance, you might realize that avoiding a choice is still a choice, or that fairness requires clear communication. So with that clarity comes the Page of Swords, signaling curiosity, dialogue, and a willingness to ask questions. This card suggests a shift toward openness and learning. You may begin to speak up about what you're thinking, seek information, or approach the situation with a fresh mental lens. In practical terms, this could be an honest conversation, a message that clears confusion, or a decision to understand rather than assume. And then the week concludes with the King of Cups, showing emotional mastery and balance. Where the Queen feels deeply and the Four withdraws, the King integrates emotion with calm control. This suggests emotional maturity, responding rather than reacting. You may reach a place where you can hold compassion for yourself and others without becoming overwhelmed. For example, you might set firm but kind boundaries, or express your feelings clearly while remaining steady and composed. So overall, this week tells a story of emotional depth, moving through disconnection, truth, communication, and ultimately emotional balance. The message is that honoring your feelings is important, but true peace comes from pairing empathy with clarity, honesty, and emotional self-control. All right, so let's see what the third week of January brings for us. Messages, please. For Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, week 3 of January. Hermit. I've seen that one a lot tonight. I've done a couple other readings. And here we have it. Okay, we got the Empress and the Emperor on this. That's very interesting. All right, so what are the cards trying to say this time? So the week opens up with the Hermit, signaling a period of introspection and self-reflection. You may be stepping back from the noise of daily life to seek clarity and guidance. This is a time to listen to your inner voice, evaluate your priorities, and gain perspective. For example, you might take a break from social obligations to think deeply about a major decision, or spend quiet time journaling to understand your true goals. Next comes the Two of Pentacles, highlighting the need for balance and adaptability. After reflection, you're navigating multiple responsibilities or choices, learning to juggle priorities without losing focus. This could show up as managing work and personal life, balancing creative projects with practical demands, or weighing options before committing to a path. The Empress then brings nurturing energy and creative abundance into the narrative. She encourages growth, care, and manifestation, turning ideas and plans into something tangible. For example, you might begin a creative project, cultivate a supportive environment for loved ones, or invest in self-care that strengthens your foundation. There's a sense of fertility and productivity here, whether literal or metaphorical. We then move on to the Knight of Cups, which introduces movement guided by emotion and inspiration. This card represents following your heart, offering kindness, or pursuing meaningful experiences. You may feel motivated to act on your intuition, reach out to someone sincerely, or embark on a passionate pursuit. For instance, you might propose a heartfelt idea, start a creative endeavor, or take a bold step in a relationship. And finally, the Emperor brings structure, authority, and discipline. This card suggests that after reflection, balance, creativity, and inspired action, it's time to establish stability and boundaries. You're called to organize, lead, and ensure long-term security. In practice, this could mean setting clear goals, implementing routines for your projects, or asserting leadership in personal or professional spheres. So overall, the week tells a story of thoughtful reflection, leading to balanced decisions, creative growth, inspired action, and finally, disciplined structure. The message being that success comes from combining introspection and intuition with practical organization and leadership, nurturing ideas into reality while maintaining order and stability. So let's take a look at the fourth week of January. Again, Sag, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, January 4th week. Messages, please. We have here King of Swords, Spear Maiden, the Washer at the Ford, Grail Hollow, and finally Spear 9. So let's see what this all says here. So this final week begins with the Sword King, establishing a theme of mental clarity and authority and decisive thinking. This card suggests that you are or need to be in a position where logic, strategy, and truth are paramount. For example, you may face a situation that requires firm boundaries, careful planning, or an honest assessment of circumstances. It's about acting with integrity and using reason to navigate challenges. So next comes the Spear Maiden, which introduces courage and initiative and readiness to take action. This energy complements the Sword King's strategic clarity with boldness and determination. You may feel called to step forward into a new challenge, defend a position, or assert your independence. For example, this could involve volunteering for a responsibility at work, speaking up for your beliefs, or pursuing an opportunity that others hesitate to take. And next we have the Washer at the Ford. This signals a moment of reflection and consequence. This card often represents warnings, emotional reckoning, or facing moral truths. It may suggest that actions have consequences, or that you are entering the ripple effect of past decisions. Encountering the ripple effect of past decisions. In practical terms, you might experience a situation where honesty and discernment are required, or be confronted with the results of choices you made earlier. The Grail Hollow then invites retreat, rest, and inner processing. After facing moral truths or emotional challenges, you may need time alone to recover and gain perspective. This is a period of stillness, where contemplation and self-care help you understand the deeper lessons of recent events. For example, you might take a break from social obligations to think, meditate, or simply sit with your thoughts without distraction. And then the week concludes with the Spear 9, which suggests vigilance, perseverance, and guarding your position. This card often indicates that while challenges remain, you have the strength and readiness to defend yourself or protect what matters. It emphasizes awareness, preparation, and resilience. For instance, you may be watching for potential conflicts, maintaining boundaries, or cautiously moving forward after a period of reflection. So overall, the week tells the story of using clarity and courage to face challenges, recognizing consequences, pausing for reflection, and then standing ready with vigilance and resilience. The message being that careful thought, bold initiative, and mindful self-protection allow you to navigate trials while still staying grounded and prepared for whatever comes next. So, I hope you found this helpful, Sag. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That'll help get the message out to others. Again, I thank you for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.